is such a struggle. I suspect that there are some of us adults in the audience who are still trying to determine what we can get away with. There are some grandmas who are going well beyond just a splash of color in their blouse today, and grandpas who are testing to see if they can get away with streaming a game without anyone noticing. Full confession, I was watching a Chelsea game during my daughter's USC graduation a couple weeks ago. I did listen to the speeches, and I made sure to turn it off long before she walked across the stage, so I expect you guys to do that too. Can we better define what the limits are? How much individuality do we tolerate? Most of what Mrs. Geis and I do each day is help students navigate this boundary. The answer in schools is pretty simple. If the classroom dynamics are being affected, it's time to rein it in. Each student has a right to not have their learning be impacted by others in the classroom. This means that if the individuality leads to a student lying on the floor with their feet on the desk when everyone else is conforming by sitting in their desk, it's time to move that behavior out of the classroom. This was a real challenge, by the way, at a local K-8. Thank goodness we teach high schoolers. For the most part, though, the expressions of individuality usually are only an issue if we, as the others, choose to make it an issue. If someone's beliefs or actions don't impact me, I have no business interfering with their business. If someone loves to doodle by drawing intricate pictures made up of individual letters that result in epic poems, the activity is quiet, doesn't impact anyone's learning, why would I care how they're spending their time? If, on the other hand, those pictures are maybe pornographic, now we have an issue where a bystander might see something inappropriate that they didn't ask to see. This simple test is pretty effective at handling the majority of the issues that arise. And you'd be surprised at how easy it is to rein people in when they have already been given the freedom to be who they are. It's not like the floodgates get opened and now it's impossible to regain control. A little agency and a little trust go a long way in terms of encouraging students to conform. People to conform. People just want to be seen. They just want to be valued. They just wanted to be treated like human beings. Class of 2025, Inez, I'm going to leave you with a call to action. How do we spread the freedom to be your authentic self to everyone throughout the world? How do we make this the norm? Hopefully we've all experienced what it's like to be heard, listened to, valued, and accepted. We've all seen what it's like to be in a community where everyone else feels valued too. How do we make sure that everyone you meet in the future, everyone in your dorm room, everyone in your future workplace, and everyone you encounter at the grocery store feels similarly validated and encouraged to be themselves? How do we show others the example that we have learned? You can't just say, hey, just be yourself. It'll have to be subtle. It'll be showing genuine interest in others. It'll be not maligning others with your friends. No snide remarks, no eye rolls. But more importantly, standing up to others when they make rude comments. Have in your arsenal little quips like, I don't know, I admire her courage to wear that. Or, what he's doing doesn't affect me, so I don't let it bother me. Or, I love how free they are. It's really hard to do this. It's hard to go against groupthink. I practice doing this daily in my principal role, but even I struggle with it when I'm in social situations away from the natural power position that this job affords me. It's easy to call people out when people are expecting you to do so. It's another thing to do so when you're just one of the guys. Suddenly the focus of the group turns from the other to you. The incorrectly articulated plea for compassion can make the group wonder who made you holier than thou. It takes extra tact and grace to move the group toward your point of view. Fumble it, and you can quickly become the outsider. And no outsider is ever going to change minds. So we have to choose our battles, nudge when appropriate, and guide when we can. There are times when we'll want to isolate ourselves from a group because the groupthink just isn't compatible with our own values. This is sometimes a necessary action that each of us must take. But I do urge you to try, when you can, to help others move towards the acceptance of self and others. If you can recognize that many in the group are just going along with the group, though secretly despising themselves for it, that sometimes people don't think about the compounding corrosive consequences of individual actions when applied to the whole group, and that a few are really just hurting because of some prior pain. You'll recognize that individuals and ultimately the group can be redirected towards good. You just have to know what levers to pull, and you just have to be willing to put in the time to pull those levers. Your first order of business will be to focus on yourself. You may find that you have to redouble the work that you have already done to feel confident in self, because college and the workplace will introduce you to new group dynamics that will need to be navigated. You might have to temporarily smooth some of your rougher edges, and you'll likely hate some of the choices you make in your attempt to fit in. The good news, though, is that you have a strong platform to build upon. You've all grown to have an assuredness of self and an acceptance of others that is so much more developed than what any of us had at your age. You'll be challenged in so many ways because that's what life is all about. But I'm confident that you will all build a constantly evolving, strikingly beautiful monument of self built on the surest of foundations. That monument will be a beacon for others, showing others what is possible. It will occasionally get chipped and maybe get overly smoothed in your attempts at repair, but you will ultimately find a way to shape it into the truest version of yourself. Inez, can you and your classmates stand up for me, please? All yes. To present to you the true, authentic selves of the class of 2025. All right, we're now going to go on to red cords. We're now going to honor those graduates who have demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to community service. All graduates in the state of California are required to complete 15 hours of community service. Our graduates complete many more. Today, we'll recognize those students who have demonstrated a commitment to service. Each of them has completed more than 150 hours of community service during their high school years. We also give extra recognition to those students who have done over 300 hours of community service by giving them 2 red cords. Thanks, guys. All right, first up, I'm just going to start naming these names because we've got a lot for both the red cords and the yellow cords. Guy Navasi. Annie Aponte. Gianna Beaumont gets 2. Taylor Bowman gets 2. Althea Chialtas. Juniper Davidson. Amelia Gerard gets 2. Chloe Hermosillo Cornejo. Jane Carnop. Kaylee Kelly gets 2. Gigi Montavani. Molly McGinnis gets 2. I'm going to mess this up. Cheyenne Nativet? Brianna Miller. Corbin Morissette. Cameron Owens gets 2. Luke Pondrum, Michael Rempel, and Jacob Wilson. We have additional red cords that we'd like to give out today. These are honorary red cords for those in our community who have easily reached 150 hours of community service through their support of our school. Nikki McGinnis received two cords for her many years of service on our board, her instrumental role in willing us through the dark days of SET, if you know, you know, and for being the amazing and supportive parent of 3 SET students. We have Liz Gerard for her energetic service to the school and the SET PA. We have Lori Gunn for fearlessly stepping into the role of SET PA president, reviving our PA in the midst of the pandemic. She leaves an amazing legacy of a strong and united parent association, and for being an amazing behind-the-scenes supporter for so many of our students. All right, I didn't ask about this pronunciation. I hope I get this right. Michael Alakwa. Did I get that right? Alakwa, yes. For helping to coach our girls basketball team to their first ever CIF championship. Jen Carnop for sharing her talents in professional development with our staff and for being a dynamo at every event, particularly our family picnics. Carmina Kiefer for her steadfast presence on our PA, supporting all of our amazing events with her attention to detail and care for our staff. To Quinn Owens for also helping our girls basketball team make it to our along with coaching flag football, being an integral part of the PA, and for being that parent that we can count on to always say yes.